What am I stepping on? Something from Jellycomb has made it to my home. If you're the type of person to bang out projects on the go, but you prefer bringing tablets or phablets over laptops, this could be for you. This is Jellycomb's wired keyboard with touchpad. It doesn't have an overly impressive name, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Out of the box, you get a short coiled cable, a USB to micro USB adapter, and the keyboard itself. Portability being the name of the game, the driverless plug-and-play keyboard comes in at 287 by 190 by 6.5 millimeters and 391 grams. Obviously, it's a chiclet-style keyboard, so if you feel the experience may be a little thin, this won't appeal to you. The scissor switches are rated for about 1 million clicks though, so that's not too shabby. You've got media controls, shortcut keys for things like email, search, home, lock, switch app, and widgets, and enabling and disabling the touchpad. It doesn't feel too different from typing on a laptop, though the board is covered in a PU leather that's nice to the touch, and, despite its name, does smell pretty good. The switches themselves are admittedly strange, since I'm typically typing on mechanical keys, and I'm not a fan of the half-height arrows, but they are pretty tactile and definitely more appealing than my old Asus laptop's keyboard. Have a listen. Now what about gaming? Yes, I'm serious. The experience was, well, pretty much as you'd expect from a low-profile keyboard. While I didn't have any issues with keys double tapping or not registering, your experience may vary depending on the app you're using. Some games support keyboard inputs, while others do not. In my personal use, the device isn't too bad. I feel like it's one of those things where if you know you want it or need it, it'll be satisfactory, but otherwise, it's not something you'd ever consider buying. If you're using this for a phone, you're probably ridiculous, because the portability factor from having the smaller device goes straight out the window. I just didn't have a tablet to test, so don't judge me. Though if you did have one, this is small enough to slip into most backpack pockets that you'd probably be carrying the tablet in anyway. On a slightly touchier subject, the touchpad being recessed is not my favorite, but at least it's out of the way of my palms. Adjusting to the number pad was a little weird, as the numbers shack up with some of the letters, which means they'll be staggered instead of in the typical grid layout. There is a shortcut for app switching, but I'm not totally convinced that function F6 is faster than alt-tabbing like a normie. That key probably could have been better used for something else, like a calculator or a calendar or literally anything else. As for where I found the product to be falling a little short, you're provided a 75cm cable, but it's coiled, so any portable device is likely to get pulled along for the ride if you get anywhere close to the maximum length. Fortunately, it's a micro USB standard, so you can replace it if you want. The keyboard itself flexes under relatively light pressure, but given its size and height, that's pretty much expected. On a somewhat related note, there are no fold-out feet, but again, with the board's 6.5mm thickness, I wouldn't be too surprised if those feet were to snap right off. Well, what about the rest? More specifically, the wrist rest. I'm not a fan. Like my early high school days, this thing is full of edge. And exactly like my early high school days, just as awkward and uncomfortable. And while on the topic of the wrist rest area, I don't agree with the LED indicator placement. When the product is in use, your wrist probably covers most of or all of it. It would make more sense to place it somewhere on the top in my opinion. Unlike this keyboard, the price is a little steep. At $35 US, it's a hard device to sell, especially since it lacks Bluetooth capabilities. But to its credit, the keys themselves feel pretty nice and the leather cover is a pleasant touch. Though considering this is meant for tablets, I'm not 100% convinced a touchpad is necessary, and I would have easily traded that for wireless functionality. And so that's all I have to say about that. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share, leave me questions if you've got them. Thanks for watching. My name is Steven and I am ALittleDIMM. Bye-bye. And now I have another video to shoot directly after this, so if I'm wearing the same clothes for the next video, it's not because I'm a bum. I mean, I am a bum, but it's not because I'm a bum. It's just back-to-back shooting. Also, Halloween! I love Halloween. Halloween is my favorite. Ever. Portability being the name of the game, the driverless plug-and-play. Yeah, though the keyboard is covered in a PU leather that's nice to the touch. Though the board is covered in a PU leather that's nice to the... Why is that so weird to say? This is small enough to slip into most backpack pockets that you'd probably be carrying This is small enough to slip into most backpack pockets that you'd probably Small enough to slip into most backpack pockets that you'd probably be... into most backpack pockets that you'd probably be carrying in the... that's not what I wrote. Though, if you did have one, this is small as... that wasn't even the hard part. That you'd probably be carrying the tablet in anyway. This is small enough to slip into the back... That's not what I wrote. As for where I found the product, what? You're provided a 75cm cable, but it's coiled, so any device that's like... I wouldn't be too surprised if those feet were to snap right off. Snap right off. Snap right off. Snap right off. It would make more sense to place it somewhere on the top in my